What's the one piece of advice you'd give a new agent or any agent that's jumping in and deciding to do this thing?
I would say have a plan, honestly. Have a plan and just kind of have a vision of what you see your agency being, 90 days, 6 months, a year down the road.
Insurance dudes are on a mission to escape being handcuffed by our agencies.
How? By uncovering the secrets to creating a predictable, consistent, and profitable agency sales machine.
I am Craig Pretzinger.
I am Jason Feldman.
We are agents.
We are insurance dudes.
Right now, while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
We took our notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies led Craig and I to selling more than $10 million in premium in the last 2 years.
On this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the same results.
Just go to live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
If you jump on this call with us, we're certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.
So, and you've been such an awesome piece of all the weekly meetings and everything that we do. How important, because you have this insight on the internet leads, how important has the Telefunnel been to making those internet leads successful?
Honestly, extremely. Because I buy so many, I have the lead connection service. So I have a meeting once a month with my person. And she even asked me, like, how do you consistently close business of leads that you bought months prior? And I'm like, because we call them more than anyone else.
Right.
And especially listen to you guys, because before I opened my agency, so being on this is like crazy because I used to watch this before I opened and, I used to take you guys' advice so much. That's why I used to be consistent on those calls. And I don't take things with a grain of salt. I'm like, if people are being successful, why reinvent the wheel? Like, right. There's something that I could put my own little sizzle in it, but this is working, don't break it, right? So I think that was something for me that really stuck, that it was like, dial, because no one else is calling. And you guys are the reason why I got Ricochet to begin with, because, I knew I was going to get, Teledude. So I was like, okay, you guys use Ricochet. I'm going to get Ricochet.
You're like, I'm copying you.
Yeah, I'm going to copy them. I'm going to do what they do. Boom, boom, boom. So I think that really has helped us. The fact that, our campaigns, we're still calling these people, and something else that we do too that also helps us is I know we can't incentivize people to, buy insurance, but we can incentivize them to get a quote. So I'm partnered with this company. We actually give out vouchers, free vouchers, like dining cards, stays to Vegas, airline trips, whatever. It's unlimited for me. So I'm like, hey, let me just give you this free insurance quote. I said, thank you for your time. I'll give you this $200 dining voucher. Do you still drive the Nissan Maxima? Boom. And people are like, heck yeah, let me get it. Let me get that voucher. So because of that also allows us to just get more quotes out the door. And if they like us, then they'll bind. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. What service are you using for those vouchers? Just quick.
Yeah, I use a service called CMI. It's awesome. Like you can even do integrations with it where you can link it up to Zapier, so you can have just things going on automatically. And it's pretty awesome because you can customize it so like your logo and your stuff is on there. So when they open up the voucher, like you're front of mind because your face and everything is on there. So even if they don't bind now, whenever they look at that voucher, your face is going to be there.
I love it. So cool. I love it when people think outside the box, and there's a million ways to skin a cat, but like really just not just going the typical direction of, hey, I'm just going to try to quote people. It's like, what else can we do to help them? Like, the more you help people, the more they're going to be interested in your services.
And it helps for retention and referrals because we use it the same way. I'll give you a better price for a better, situation. So it's like, you let me quote you, I'll give you a $200 dining voucher. You gave me 3 referrals, I'll give you a 4-night stay to Vegas. So yeah. And that helps. So that definitely helps tremendously. And
I love it.
We keep track of like how many clients we bind off of that and things like that to kind of like help keep track of things.
Cool. Super cool. How important are referrals to your agency?
I think now we're starting to lean more towards that route. I think in the beginning, as a new agent, because we started scratch, I need to make sure we hit a certain amount of numbers. So I think in the beginning, I was more chasing auto. I know the internet leads were working, so I was just focusing on that. Now that we have like a larger team and things like that, now we're starting to lean more towards like, hey, like get her some referrals, and they seem to be working. I think our Spanish clientele, they definitely love us. They definitely love us because I think that a lot of brokerages, they're so used to just giving these state minimums. And that to me is appalling. Like you should, as an agent, you should never lead with state minimums. That's to me, it's just
Right.
like, that's a no-no. You're not protecting anyone. You're just trying to sell
100%.
something.
Right.
So I'm very direct. I'll tell people, I'm like, hey, like, what's the point of paying for this if it's not going to protect you? Like your car is worth more than the insurance you have on it. Like, come on. So I think people appreciate that honesty sometimes. It's refreshing because sometimes I don't kiss nobody's butt, if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. I don't want no different
Right.
people. No. And my clients too. That's the beauty of what I love. Like I get to build my own book with people that I like. So it's crazy. We have now almost 200 clients. We're creeping up there soon. And they're all super dope. They're all super nice. So it's like, yeah, it's I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So how about talk a little bit about that client experience, new client experience.
Mm-hmm.
How does that look when they bind to, that first couple of weeks? What are you doing to make sure that it's a really seamless client experience?
Yeah. So that's why I like to take care of everything to make sure everything is done. I'm working more on getting things automated so I could be less hands-on on certain things. But usually what we do is once the policy is bound, we set up an onboarding appointment. We just want to go over the coverages over again. During that onboarding appointment, we talk more about their liability exposure because even during the initial call, like who knows, like we think 250 is a lot, but hey, like you might have $1 million sitting in your bank account. This is not covering those assets, So we have more of a stronger conversation about, okay, let's make sure now your assets are protected, that these policies are going to do what they're supposed to do. So we go into more of a in-depth conversation there. We make sure their documents and things are signed. Then I usually reach out to the client before their first month's bill is due, just to see if everything is good, if they have any questions. And then I just let them know, like, hey, I'm your main point of contact. Anything you need, any questions you have, you call me. I take care of it. Don't worry, I got you. So try to build that relationship early on. So if they have to file a claim or do anything, they're not reaching out to the carrier directly. They're calling me so I can stay on top of everything.
Super cool.
Yeah. And we cancel their old carrier too. Like, I'm like, no, do not call. Because Geico is, man.
They're good.
They're good. I was like, I've called them with the client and Geico's like, okay, so what coverages are they giving you? But
They
you
won't
gotta
let
be,
you alone.
no, but you gotta be smart though. Now I preempt, because that used to happen to me in the wireless world. So I tell the customer, look, we're going to call Geico. Geico going to ask you, do you want us to review the coverage? You're going to say no. You're going to tell them you just want to cancel, and we're going to cancel. Okay? Because then if you don't tell your client that, the client's going to be like, yeah, and now you're stuck on the phone listening to this crap for another 20, 30 minutes. So just tell your person that, tell them what to do, instruct them so that won't happen. And I don't want nobody stealing you. So I'm going to call on the line with you and get this done. So there's no issues.
Love it. Yeah. When we first started writing the script and everything else, we call insurance agencies stuff. And I'll never forget when we first called Geico, it was like they would not let us off the phone. And we're like, oh my gosh. So for a while, I made every new person that came in the agency call Geico and get a quote. Like that was one of the first things that they did, because they won't let you off the phone because they don't get a follow-up. That's it. It's a one-call close or nothing for them. Yeah. So, and then also that's a good thing to tell them, like, dude, they have to one-call close. So here, you don't have to do that. You can keep following up, but you got to do what they do on the front end. You have to be that tenacious. Luckily, when you have a culture in your agency that just does that stuff, that you don't have to like get that going, but like you got to create that belief. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy what they do over there at Geico. They're really good.
Yeah. So it's like, you're like, why can't I do that? It's just one of those things where my team always, I'm like, why can't you? That's
Right.
my catchphrase. That's going to be my catchphrase. Why? Like, why can't you do it? Because you don't want to? There's I don't want, then I can't. There's two different things. So I'm like, heck yeah, no, like, I learned when certain things happen to me, I rarely let them happen over and over. I'm like, I learned from my mistakes. So I was like, yeah, nah, Geico.
Yep. They're good.
Keep on the phone. They're good.
They're good because they have superior training and they have the resources to spend an exceptional amount of time on training, right? So these people are very well trained on that system, right? There's a process they follow. Everything's recorded. Like all of the things that we talk about are done at a massive scale. And it's why they're able to do that, right? I mean, it's just anybody, we can all do it.
Yeah.
But the amount of work that goes in that front end is so, we were just talking about this. There's just so much that goes into it. But look at that result once it's put together, right?
Yeah.
It's easy. It's replicatable. Every person you bring on, you go through this. Now, we don't have the resources, so 2-month intense classroom period is a little bit challenging. Yeah. But could it be done at some level? Sure, right?
Yeah.
You get
like
it.
Pamela yelling in your ear while you're on the phone.
Yes.
Right away, first day.
Pamela should be yelling in their ear the whole time.
I literally bought one of those little portable desks now.
Yeah.
Because that's how I be. Now I have my little laptop there and I'm literally like, say this. No, say that. Yeah. Put it on mute. Put it on mute. I call myself like the puppeteer because I literally am like behind the scenes. I might not be binding the policies, but I'm like, okay, say this, do this, try this, because I don't have those bad, I feel like my team, they do come from brokerages. So they have these bad habits of, selling out of their own pocket sometimes. And I'm like, no, we are building a value. We are here to protect the person. I don't want to sell a policy to someone and then I can't sleep at night because now this person's in debt because I didn't put them with the correct thing. I don't want that in my conscience. So
then your loss ratio is all messed up. Like then you got extra customer service calls coming in with people that are pissed. What's Craig, we talked about it today. It was, if it's easy on the front end, it's hard on the back end. If it's hard on the front end, it's easy on the back end.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
She said,
oh, geez.
Even with homes, like people are like, you do that? I was like, yeah, because once I was writing mainly auto in the beginning. Trickle in here a little bit, a couple homeowners. Of course, you tell people, how's your home? Is it good condition? My home is beautiful. It's nothing wrong. Then the field underwriter goes, cancels the policy because everything's broken. So I'm like, what
6 cars in the front lawn with no engines in them and weeds going through.
Why are all these cars here, sir? Are you running like a lot? What's happening? So
why are there 10 trampolines?
So after you have a couple of those happen to you, you're like, freak, no. So now I actually go see the homes, before we actually bind the policies. Like if they're within an hour drive of me, I'm gonna go see that house.
How do you do all this?
You need a drone.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like yesterday I was like, I came in the morning. I was like, I got 3 homes that I got to go see people. I'm gonna go and I'll be back, and I did it. I mapped my route out, saw all 3, came back. But it was good that I saw that because I did, even one of the homes, there was a new build. She just got that house 2 years ago. I went there. I was like, man, we got to fix this and this. We can write this, but we're going to have to fix this. So, but that's something that, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't properly see it. And because I'm trying to focus more on homes and build more of a personal relationship with people, I like it, and it helps me with life too. So
yeah. Yep. Love it. So what are you doing? How are you approaching your retention? Are you doing anything to increase that?
So with retention now, I'm starting to go through renewals, but we also have a lot of policies that are also yearly policies. So I won't have to tackle those till October. Thank God. But I think it's just because people like us. I'm one of those people that and I'll let you know, you can leave me because that literally happens. You can leave me, but you'll be back because you're going to get the same experience. It literally happened to me. Like it was my first customer who called and canceled to go to another company, but she was one of the people that I talked to all the time. So it kind of stung, why? But it was a price thing. She was adding her steps and it went ridiculously high. She just called me last week, like, Pam, and I was like, Kathleen, I'm still gonna ask her what happened with that other agent, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for another week to go by so I could be like, so what happened? You know? But yeah, no. So I just think it's that. It's like if people leave or whatever, don't be that person and end things on a sour note. Still let them know, like, hey, I would still want to earn your business again. Like, what was it? Was it price? Was it something else? The person that was going to leave us because the book we're reading, I told her, I was like, I want to earn your business. I'm sorry if there was, a misunderstanding between you and my producer, but I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. So if you feel that I'm not the agent for you, I understand. But I guarantee you that if you give me your business, your experience with me will be nothing short of amazing. And she stayed here. She's like, no, Pam. Then she started apologizing to me. No, Pam. I'm sorry. Oh no, and it's like, that's what it is. Like, we are the asset. Like, don't chase people. Like, why am I going to chase you? Like, for what?
Yeah,
For
right.
you to cancel on me? No, I want the people that are going to value my business, value what we have to offer, because that's going to be the retention, and that's what we're after, So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. When they're too fishy sometimes, I'm like,
Let them go. You learn that early again.
Yeah.
That's another thing. We used to try to hold on, like the first couple of years that I started working here, we try to hold on to these people. And there's like a small percentage that took up most of the time in the agency.
Oh.
And it's like, let them go, get them out of here. Like, if you're not happy, go find another agent, because we want to help those that want to be helped, not the ones that are just like constantly.
I had one of those. I was like, can you please cancel? I'm like, but he wouldn't until his car broke down. And then he was like, Pam, I need it, but I'll be back when I get a new car. I was like, no,
we're moving.
No. Like, no.
That's great. So besides listening to this amazing podcast, what else do you do to keep yourself motivated?
Man, I guess it's like my future, I want to be a millionaire, a multimillionaire, so when you have goals like that, you got to hustle. So I think just the fact that, because I have I've had to start over in different industries, so many times and build myself up, I kind of already had that confidence. And for all the parents out there, I will say, encourage your children when they're young, because everybody I freaking ask, like, not everybody, but a lot of people, I'm like, why don't you have why are you like so not confident? Like, how were you raised? That's my question now. How were you raised?
Right.
Yeah.
And I always say, Mom, you don't speak English, or you don't understand this, but you're the reason why, I'm like the way I am. My mom, my grandma, my aunts, my dad, my whole life, they were like, Pam, they wanted me to be a lawyer. You're going to be amazing. You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to have all this money. You're so smart. You're so this. So I
that encouragement.
With that encouragement, and never pressure. So my family never pressured me to do anything, but I've always wanted to, again, live up to those expectations,
right.
And for me, I think is that, I want to live up to the expectations of my family. I'm first generation American. So it's very, very important to me to, represent, Dominicans out there in the Hispanic community, because I want to show people that, like, our parents could come here and start over, and we can achieve, great things.
That's awesome.
So I guess that motivates me. I do listen to, I like the Craig Rochelle podcast. I listen to that a lot too.
Good name.
Yeah. And I just try to I think a lot of people, we spend time in the outside, and we need to spend more time within. So I spend a lot of time within, like, really
nice.
Like, how do I feel? Like, my thoughts used to race all the time, back in the day, and now they're pretty quiet. So I try to be at peace. Like, I don't like, don't mess up my peace. I'm like Zen over here. Don't mess it up. And that's why I just kind of keep motivated, because I used to be a negative person. And for the people out there who are just like, oh, she's just positive. No, I was very, very negative, back in 2014. That's when I saw The Secret.
Wow.
2014, I wasn't like this. I was 300 pounds. I was angry all the time, like, wow, buck teeth, now I'm like so different,
Yeah.
But I,
awesome.
I wrote it down, like, this is who I'm going to be. This is who I'm going to become. And I believe that, we have to act as the people we want to be, not who we are now, So if I want to be, a multimillionaire, I can't just act like a small insurance agent. I have to, think big, dream big, expect big things from my people. Why am I going to tell my producer, you only got to hit, 10,000? That's nothing. My producers, Salma, she puts up, 40, 50. That's my expectations of her. Yeah. So I very big on that.
I love that. I think that isn't it funny though? Like, I would say most people don't work within, just accept the way things are and then move ahead. And it's like, dude, work like we got to work on ourselves. I mean, Craig and I were both negative in the past. We
There
both
was some alcohol involved.
There was
at a point.
alcohol,
Same.
drugs. I mean, you name it, and like a bunch of negativity. I used to bartend, work in the service industry. That's a toxic environment. All you do is bitch about everybody
and hear about everybody's problems all day,
Yeah.
right? Like it's nuts.
And that's like my thing that I started to realize is like, okay, like the most boring things like aren't like, yeah, like meditating and like sitting quietly and like writing your intentions. That's not the funnest thing in the world. Let's be honest. Like I'd rather be on freaking Hulu or Netflix, but what is
Right.
that going to give me like in the long run? You know, it's like, and I think honestly, and I tell my team that too, because I do have a producer who I always have to tell her, you got to believe in yourself, girl. Like you are so so you don't love yourself. Like, come on, why? But I think that it is easy to accept that things happen to us because then we don't have to take responsibility for our lives because everything that happens, I didn't do it. That's just how life is. Once we start really realizing that, no, everything that happens to us is because of a result of something that we did, that's when you really start taking responsibility. Like, that's when you really have to be like, that shitty situation happened to me. You're telling me that was my fault? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know, literally, actually, I was wearing the same outfit like 2 months ago. It was snowing. I got a flat tire on my brand new car. I could have bitched. I could have, whatever. It was like super cold. It was snowing. I got out there. I changed my goddamn tire like a champ. It took me like an hour. But when that car
in the snow, that's
in the
rough.
snow, and I had no gloves.
And then the next day it was 90 out in Denver, right? It's like snows one day, 90.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But when the car touched the ground, I looked up to the sky and I was like, God, thank you, because now I know how to change a tire.
Right. I love it.
You hadn't done it before?
Perspective.
No.
Wow.
These hands don't do tires. No.
But in the snow,
Neither
like,
do
I don't
we.
even know. Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, Jason can't. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have a helper to just pour the monster in his mouth.
No. The only reason why I knew how to do it was because I got a flat tire on my other car a month before that, and my friend Omar. Shout out to Omar.
Hey, Omar,
he was like, all right, look, you're going to watch me do this because if this happens to you, you're going to have to learn. And I was like, okay, man, okay. And I was like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. And yeah, I did it. And it was the proudest moment of my goddamn life. You don't even know. I was like, yeah, but I'm saying like, you see, most people would have been like, what the heck? Oh my God, they would have been cursing the world. But I saw that as such a rewarding experience. Like, it's like, yeah, I froze my ass off. Yeah, it took me an hour, but I learned something, right? Like, what is the lesson? When something falls apart, people, what is the world? What is the universe? What is God trying to teach you? Somebody's trying to teach you something, but you are only seeing the negative in it. You're not like when I left T-Mobile, my manager saying that to me was the best thing that ever happened to me because now I have my own business,
Right.
Yeah.
But at the time,
100%.
if I would have just wavered, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So, always look at the bad things. It's what is the lesson? What is the lesson?
Yeah.
Right. What's the lesson? That chip on the shoulder is one of the biggest motivators for a lot of folks, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was awesome. It was good they said that. At the time, it didn't feel good, but you got a huge lesson out of it. And you were like, you know what? I'm a shower.
Yeah. But people always wait like years down the road and then they're like, okay, that was good. You need to think like that in the moment because that's when you really start to, grow as a person where you in the moment could like not get bad and be like, okay,
Right.
what's the
100%.
solution? What can I do?
Yep. Oh, I love it. So wise. What do you think the biggest challenges that you see affecting our agencies within the next few years?
Yeah, I definitely would say with everything going on, people were getting these free checks. Now it's starting to bite us in the ass. So definitely I would say rates are going to start going up, but with everyone. So I think it is the most important time to keep building those relationships because at the end of the day, if it's price that we're only based off of, we're going to lose our people. But if it's those relationships, if it's really making sure that people understand the value of insurance and what is really there to do, then I think that if we continue that path, then we'll be successful. And we just got to keep rolling with the times too. Like, don't stay stagnant on one thing. Like, if you're doing one thing forever, that's fine. But business change, times change, people change. And, as business owners, we have to change too.
Yeah.
100%.
We are constantly changing as people every minute. You know, like we're not the same person we were 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. And it's like acknowledging that and understanding that's a huge thing. You know,
Exactly.
So without getting too philosophical, what's the one piece of advice you'd give a new agent or any agent that's jumping in and deciding to do this thing?
I would say have a plan, honestly. Have a plan and just kind of have a vision of what you see your agency being, 90 days, 6 months, a year down the road, and really sitting there and really getting granular, like what kind of team do you want, right? Because I do that. I literally meditate and I envision my agency and my team and the people I want around me. So just kind of having that vision. And I would say, I know it's hard hiring people, but not getting too desperate because, one bad apple, if you have that bad person there, it will really spoil the whole mood. And I did experience that. So I know exactly that could happen.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's kind of what I would say. It's just like, just have a plan and believe in yourself,
Yeah. To that bad apple thing, it's crazy how badly it can screw things up because it can affect, they leave, but now somebody else has become a bad apple because of the bad apple. And it's like, it could be endless. Like it take years to push that out, plus what it did to the clients. So got to identify and move quick on that. Just to want to drive that home.
Awesome.
Pamela,
Pamela, your energy is infectious. We've always loved being around you, talking to you. It's incredible. Like you're young, but your wisdom's way beyond your years, and you're early on in this career in the insurance business, but you speak like somebody that's been in it for a ton of years without getting beat up.
Yeah.
So just want to say thank you for everything that you do. A lot of times agents don't get a bunch of thank yous. You know what I mean? So thank you for doing what you do. You serve a ton of people on your staff, and just it's cool. You're spreading good stuff.
Spreading the love. And I think that the energy you bring rubs off and affects other agents, and it puts the agent in a good light. Right? Like it makes other agents look good by what you do. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on the show. It's an honor. I can't believe like months ago, I was like, I'm going to be on here, and just to be on here, it's really.
You manifested it, see?
I manifested it. See, people, you can do it.
You did it. You made it happen. See, people are going to knock that. There's going to be haters that say, oh, manifest, whatever. It's like, okay, you're manifesting it not happening.
That's why your agency not on top. Sorry, no, I'm joking.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much. And we will see you down the road because you're going to be a repeat. We'll check in. We'll check in. Yeah.
Thank you, Pam.
Hey, what are you still doing here?
Well, while you're still here and while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
Yeah, if you weren't listening before, we took notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies did help Craig and I write over $10 million in premium in the last couple years.
And let me tell you, on this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the very same results.
Again, that's live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
And if you jump on with us, we are certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.